the R36S. I'm sure everyone has heard of this device, unless you've been living under a rock, as many call the Budget King. I've seen loads of videos of this device online, and I saw that on AliExpress it was so cheap that I just couldn't resist, even just to mess about with. I managed to get this Iron Brew orange colour for £22, or probably just under $30 with taxes and shipping included, sent from China. Ordered on AliExpress Friday and received it the following Tuesday. Quicker than our local post here in the UK. No idea how that works. From watching videos online, they all seem to come with the most basic SD card, but mine seems to be a good quality card. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you be the judge. It's got all the numbers that you'd expect from a SanDisk or a Samsung card, but it could just be printed on to make it look good. The first impressions is very good. It feels nice in the hand, the plastic feels way more sturdy than some videos make out, and the buttons are all good. The shoulder ones I actually find really nice. After playing the device for some time, I did find the buttons to be quite sharp on the top edges. It would definitely help if the buttons had a bit more of a curve to them, but nothing too serious. A lot of people cut the small connections between the A, B, X, Y buttons, but I don't really see this as much of an issue. I might do it just to join the cool R36S crew, but I don't think it's necessary. It has sunken in switch style analogs, but I wouldn't really use them on a console with this power, but it's nice to have them for the extra hotkeys. The screen quality has blown me away. This is definitely the main selling point in my opinion. It's using an IPS panel, 680 by 480 resolution, and I feel like just this screen is worth the full value of the device. Brightness is good, even out in direct sunlight. I use it during the evenings, and 20% is more than enough for me. The viewing angles are incredible. This is definitely the best part of the device by far. It's crazy how good we can get a display on such a budget handheld compared to the lovely stock Game Boy screens we dealt with as kids. It also came with a plastic screen protector, but at this price, that unfortunately just went straight in the bin. The device comes with a removable battery, which is really good because if you ever have any issues, it's a very easy process to replace. Mine says 3000 milliamps, yet the box says 3200 milliamps, so I'm not sure about that, but it's not really a huge deal. Just with general use, with brightness between 20 to 40%, I think the 6-hour battery life is expected, but it all depends on the games that you're running. I did test the battery drain when it's not in use. I left it completely powered off for 5 days. After 5 days, the device was still on the same percentage. There's nothing worse than wanting to play some retro games and you come to the device and it's completely dead. The performance you get with the device is great for older consoles. I don't think I would run PS1 or N64 on here, but it does have the possibility for this. For older retro systems like NES, SNES, Mega Drive, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, etc., it's great. Even DS games that don't really use the touchscreen, I would recommend. Even if you just bought this device, for example, to play the Pokemon series of games and some of the ROM hacks, I think for the price, you really can't go wrong. Having a quick look through the ROMs that are included, the one that I received, I have Mario and Pokemon games, which I know Nintendo are normally pretty hot on, but at this price, I don't think they care. Is that a good point? I'm not really sure. Okay, and on to the bad points. The first major issue I ran into is auto save states and auto load states. This in theory is a great idea to pick up and play where you left off. I don't know if it's the OS, the ROMs, or what. I think I'm going to double check this later, but I had it very often where a game would get stuck. Then I would close the game and I would try and load back into that game, but it would just load back into the broken state. Even going into RetroArch settings to try and restart or close the game, it would pretty much brick the system. For now, I've disabled auto save states and auto load states in RetroArch. I'll show the quick steps here. And any games I now open, just open at the start of the game instead of midway through. This is the way I would play them anyway. as I normally use hardcore mode, but I understand many people enjoy save states, so this could be an issue. Speaking of hardcore mode, the device doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi for retro achievements or scraping, which for this price for me, I actually don't mind. You can easily connect a USB Wi-Fi dongle, but if I was to do that, I may as well just pick up my Steam Deck or an Ambernic device or some other retro handheld that already has built-in Wi-Fi. Something I don't like about the device, but it's easily fixed, is the sheer number of ROMs, and who knows where these have come from. Highly recommended to use your own ROM set and don't put thousands on at once. Just set yourself a limit of 20 or 30 per system, so you're not spending hours just going through menus. Remember, you can only play one game at a time, so there's no point in putting every game in retro history on there when you'll only have chance to play 0.1% at most. I understand this is nice for those not too familiar with emulation, but this to me and a lot of other people is a huge negative, as the games barely work if you can even find what you're after. When I first turned the device on, the games were all sorted by random order. I have no idea what the order was, so I set it to alphabetically and it still didn't set them in order. I tried a restart, set it alphabetical again, and it did eventually work. There's duplicate ROMs. I assume they're for different regions, but I haven't really investigated, as I'm just going to delete them all and handpick my favorites anyway. One last point is the default themes on this device. I'm not sure what it is, but I really don't like any of them. They either look really good on the console list and the game list is terrible, or the other way around. When I first changed the theme, the background noise came on and it scared the shit out of me, so I quickly in the menus turned that off. This will most likely be fixed with an update to ArcOS or with a theme manually added, if that's possible. But I'm just reviewing this at stock settings. Now the most important question, would I recommend this device? Even with all the issues I've had with the stock settings, would I recommend this at this price? Absolutely. If you just wanted to load up some random games whilst traveling, or as a gift for someone you know who may enjoy retro games, it's a great buy. With the stock OS and ROM set, I would definitely look at that first. Maybe along with the save state settings in RetroArch. Hardware side of things, it's all very functional without having to take it to pieces, but if you did want to take it to bits, it's only a cheap device, so it might be good practice for someone who wants to tinker with some more expensive devices in the future. The screen is so good on this device, it really did blow me away. I'm still shocked how good this looks for such a low price. Because the cost is so low, I won't ever be concerned about this device breaking, as this no doubt has no warranty. I see a lot of people online spending hundreds of pounds or dollars on devices with almost no warranty, and it's quite concerning. If I was to recommend a device with great performance for a few £100 or dollars, you can pick up a Steam Deck, sometimes new or second hand, for around 300, with great performance, wide online support, and warranty. Anyway, sorry, getting a bit off tangent here. What I'm trying to say is, at this cost, you have no worries. Take it to bits, customize it, give it a paint job, whatever you like. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at updating the OS on here, put my own ROMs on, and maybe I'll make an update video to see how it compares with the stock settings. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching and take it easy.